We looked at all of the angles with 60-degree reference angles, and we will review those, but let's look at also all of the angles that have 30-degree reference angles. So obviously in quadrant 1, although we don't really need a 30-degree reference angle, we don't really need a reference angle when it's less, the angle itself is less than 90 degrees, that would be the quadrant 1 angle with a 30-degree reference angle. So there's quadrant 1 is 30 degrees. Now quadrant 2, what I want to do is draw an angle so that the reference angle has one side on the x-axis. So if this is the reference angle, then what is the actual angle? Well, the actual angle for quadrant 2 would be 150 degrees, because 150 plus 30 gives me 180. So here's 0, here's 90. So 150 degrees has a 30-degree reference angle in quadrant 2. So let's draw a quadrant 3 angle with a 30-degree reference angle, because remember our reference angle has to be along the x-axis. So that would be where the 30-degree reference angle is in quadrant 3. So if I were to draw the angle that goes all the way around from 0 to this angle, that's going to be 210 degrees. So 210, I'll write it down here. Quadrant 3 210 degrees. So 210 is the reference angle that I would use in quadrant 3. And all these arrows are a little bit confusing, so I'm not going to draw an arrow. I may not draw an arrow. Maybe I'll try to draw a different arrow. I think I'm going to pick color green here. Okay, so I have one more different color. So in quadrant 4, if I draw a 30-degree reference angle, then I'm trying to find the angle that goes all the way around from 0 to here. Well, if all the way around is 360 degrees and I'm 30 degrees less than that, then this is going to be 330 degrees in quadrant 4. So the angles that have a 30-degree reference angle that are between 0 and 360 are 30, 150, 210, and 330. Okay, now let's take a look at the angles that have 45-degree reference angles. So starting in quadrant 1, we of course have 45 degrees. In quadrant 2, I'm going to draw the reference angle for quadrant 2. There's 45. For quadrant 3, 45. And for quadrant 4, 45. So what are those angles? Well, clearly in quadrant 1 we have a 45-degree angle. In quadrant 2 we have the angle that goes all the way from here to here, which is 90 degrees plus another 45. This angle is 135 degrees. Then we have the angle that goes all the way from 0 into quadrant 3. Well, this is going to be 180 plus 45. So this is going to be 225. So in quadrant 3 it's 225. In quadrant 2 it's 135. In quadrant 1 it's 45. And then when we get to quadrant 4, all the way around to here, this is 270 plus another 45. This is 315 degrees in quadrant 4. So those are my 4 angles for quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4 that have 45-degree reference angles. Then when we get to when we get to 60 degrees, we've already done these, but just to just have them all in one place, we have our 60-degree angle in quadrant 1. we have, if we draw a 60-degree reference angle in quadrant 2, then that corresponds to a 120-degree angle in quadrant 2. If we draw our 60-degree reference angle in quadrant 3, that corresponds to a 240-degree angle in quadrant 3. So let me put my box around all these 4 important angles. And then if I go to quadrant 4 and draw my 60-degree reference angle in quadrant 4, this goes all the way around to here. This is 300, because 60 more and I would get to 360. So these are all special angles. And I'm going to go through and kind of put a box around these here, just like I did with the other ones, so we know what they are. 150, and here's our 210. Okay. So these are angles we are going to see a lot of. 30, 150, 210, 330, 45, 135, 225, 315, 60, 120, 240, and 300. Those are all the special angles in all 4 quadrants that go with 30, 45, and 60-degree reference angles.